Welcome back to Raiders of the Lost podcast. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
How are you?
Episode 6.
6.
What are we doing today?
We're going to talk about all things Star Wars, the new trilogy.
Yeah, so I'm focusing mostly on the new trilogy. So Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. So we'll be talking about which ones are best, the pros and cons to each, and overall the new storyline versus like the old storyline, how we feel about the characters and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And so I thought it would be best to just rank them. So I'm going to rank them as the Force Awakens.
Favorite to least favorite?
Yeah, so Force Awakens is my favorite, then The Rise of Skywalker, and then The Last Jedi is just trash. It's just garbage. It's a hot garbage of a movie.
My top 3 is Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, and then Force Awakens.
Force Awakens is your least favorite of the 3?
Yeah, it's my least favorite.
Oh my god, I can't believe you put
Force Awakens is the same movie as A New Hope.
You know what?
It's the exact same movie.
It is, but it's a good reboot to the franchise.
Yeah, but don't you want something a little
what
different?
happens in The Last Jedi?
A lot of shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, lots of stuff. We'll get to that. Overall, though, I want to start first with the characters. So how do you feel about the characters overall compared to, like, the older ones?
They're not even close, honestly. But I think
not even close in what?
As likable.
Likable?
Yeah.
All right. I like Rey a lot.
Rey's cool. Yeah.
I think Kylo Ren was really interesting in the first one and even the second one, but I didn't really like him too much in the third one.
Well, I think the main mistake they made with Kylo Ren was they had him redeem himself at the end.
Although his redemption seemed so ungenuine and seemed so forced, it came like out of nowhere.
It was just him talking to Han Solo. He was like, okay, I'm good now.
The guy is so evil.
He killed his dad.
Yeah, he kills his dad. He's a ruthless motherfucker.
Yeah.
Kills his dad. Then all of a sudden, he's a good guy now, and like him and Rey are in love now, and like they make out, which makes no sense.
It was so they should have kept him as just the evil new version of Palpatine. Like he took over. He's the new Darth Vader. And I know they did the same thing with Vader in the original, where he ended up killing the Emperor in the end. Well, not killing him.
Yeah.
But they should have kept Kylo Ren on this road and this path towards becoming the evil Force.
Yeah, I mean, not that you can't give him redemption. It was just so forced. And like I said, it felt ungenuine to me.
Yeah, because in The Last Jedi, they didn't touch on it at all, being redemptive at all.
And it made no sense to me, him and Rey, like, emotionally, like, getting a sort of a romance together, because the whole Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, Star Wars and J.J. Abrams, they're building this tension between Rey and Finn. And then, I'm in the theater watching the third one, watching her make out with Kylo Ren. I'm like, what about Finn?
What happened to Finn?
Finn and her, like, what is he? He's just got friend zoned so bad.
She friend zoned him right away.
Like, you're in a galactic war, and Finn gets friend zoned.
She friend zoned him. He's like, Rey, I need to tell you something. She's like, hold on, I don't have time right now. I gotta go.
I like the tall, ugly white guy. Like all white girls love the tall, weird.
Have you seen how tall he is, Finn?
He's like 6'6" in like a weird face. That's what white girls love. That so Rey obviously would love that. It's true. It just made no sense to me, because like I said, in theaters I was like, why are they making out? Like, what happened to Finn?
They gave Finn like some random girl who's exactly the same character as Finn. That girl who's a former stormtrooper, and now she's a rebel. It's literally, and they dress the same too.
Yeah.
Like they gave Finn a female version of himself.
Her character had no like relevance to the plot, really.
It was just to give him someone because they chose Kylo Ren as Rey's partner.
Yeah.
So they needed to give Finn someone, or else everyone would be upset.
Mm-hmm. But no, Force Awakens I thought was JJ did a great job reigniting the franchise for new fans. Because all these kids probably, most of them never seen Star Wars before. And yeah, it's like basically the same movie as A New Hope.
Yeah.
But I thought they did a great job rebooting it. I left the theater seeing that like super satisfied. Whereas when I saw Last Jedi, I was like, why?
I thought Last Jedi was cool.
And you're just a huge Rian Johnson fan. I love Rian Johnson. I think he's a great director. I don't think he did a bad job with it. It's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
I think he gets a bad rap because people like hate on Rian Johnson over it.
Well, I mean, I think people overreacted in terms of how they reacted towards The Last Jedi, because did you hear about the petition that was made?
Which petition?
These losers made a petition to force Disney to remake The Last Jedi and re-released it.
How many people signed it?
180,000 people signed it.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I have some friends that would have definitely signed that.
180,000 people signed this petition to force Disney to make a new movie because they weren't happy with how it turned out.
I'm surprised they didn't do it.
They said it ruined their childhood, and they grew up in America.
It's crazy. It's not a bad movie. I mean, we can talk about Last Jedi real quick. Let's talk about the plot holes. So the main plot hole is this giant ship is chasing them down, and they can't reach them with their blasters. So they're in like a very slow, like molasses uphill, slow chase. But like a major plot hole is, why doesn't the giant death ship or whatever that ship's called just send out some like dudes send out their fighter jets to slow down and like go in front of the resistance ship and slow them down.
There are a lot of ways to catch that ship.
Or shoot them down. They could just send their other ships and just shoot at them because they didn't have any power or anything.
And there's no other kind of missile they can shoot at the ship that goes far enough to hit it.
Like, I mean, you don't have any torpedoes left over from like the original like Earth. You don't have any of those left. No nukes. No nothing in the ship. Just like a backup plan. But
a similar thing happened in Return of the Jedi. Because my biggest thing with that is how Rey hangs out with Luke for like 2 days, and then she's a Jedi Master.
Yeah.
She's like ready to fight Kylo Ren. Same thing happened with Luke and Yoda back in Jedi, where they trained. He crashed a ship in it, and then while Han and Leia, their journey was like a 2-day storyline, and Luke was like with Yoda for 2 days, and now he's a Jedi Master. He can take out Darth Vader. Like, why can't anyone trade for like maybe like 6 months to prepare to fight the ultimate villain
and like to become like one of the most powerful Jedis ever? Yeah. It's just in you. Well, that's something I don't like about The Rise of Skywalker too. I mean, not the Last Jedi. Is they just kind of put Luke Skywalker in like a closet. Yeah. They're like the most beloved franchise, like character in the franchise, and the hero. They just like put him off at an island. He doesn't want to do anything anymore. I understand.
JJ did that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
I understand.
You said Last Jedi.
I corrected it. Or well, you know the whole story of him. They obviously they didn't want him to overshadow the other new characters, I guess, to make obviously more marketable movies, rather than having some old guy be the hero again. But like, it just felt weird to have Luke Skywalker like hardly like really in the story at all, and not really doing much until The Last Jedi when he tricks the guy into thinking that he's really there.
Well, I think it was good the way they did it in The Force Awakens, where he's only in the end, because it's a new story, so you got to have the new.
No, I know that. I'm talking about the second one.
He's all over The Last Jedi.
No, but in terms of like, in relation to the story, he's like hardly like part of the Resistance anymore, and he's just off on some island like chilling.
He's like the Yoda of that story.
I know. I just don't like how they did that.
All right, I understand.
I would either kill him, or like.
But I mean, the way they set it up in Force Awakens is like he's a hermit, so they gotta make him a hermit.
I know. I just don't like that he's a hermit. Right. It pissed me off. I'm like,
so how do you feel about when he threw the lightsaber away when Rey gave it to him?
Stupid. It's dumb. It's like, oh, it's funny for a trailer, but like, come on, why wouldn't he help them fight? It makes no sense. Why wouldn't Luke help them fight?
It makes no sense because he says in The Last Jedi, he's like, what do you think I'm going to do? Just like take on the Empire with the lightsaber? It's like, that's what he did in the original trilogy.
You already did that. It worked. Bro. Get in your fucking fighter jet.
He did it and it worked.
And I understand he like had all the guilt from the Jedis and Kylo Ren and all that stuff and all the death. But like, it's fucking Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Have him out there killing people. He should be out there fighting. My God.
He should be hacking up bad guys. But what I really wanted in Last Jedi was I would have loved to see Kylo Ren young being trained by Luke Skywalker for like maybe a few scenes.
That would have been cool.
And what they could have shown was that Snoke was like manipulating his mind back then when he was young and a teenager. And you can really, because they said like Snoke got to him when he was young, but I wanted to see like what was that like? Was he like in his head, like convincing him of like changing his perspective on things and turning him? That would have been real interesting.
Yes.
And I think there was a missed opportunity.
That would have been really cool to see like how Kylo Ren originated.
Yeah.
Because they could have done it.
Yeah. Because Luke says he looked in his head and he saw that there was so much evil building inside of him. But I was like, well, and then Snoke must have built it there, so it must have been like Snoke getting into his head when he was young.
Yeah. In terms of Snoke, Snoke, not Snoke. Snoke.
Snoke.
All right, cut that.
Supreme Leader Snoke.
Cut that. You just said Snope. You'll hear it. You'll hear it when you play this back. You just said
whatever.
Snoke,
You're ridiculous.
and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't. I'm gonna delete this forever." In terms of Snoke, and Palpatine, like J.J. Abrams loves to do this like mystery box thing that he does, where he doesn't want to tell you anything. He like constantly gives you kind of clues, or he just keeps secrets from you. And obviously, he did that with Rey for like the first two, and like
just to fuck with us.
For years, it was like, who is Rey? What is Rey? Like, where does she come from? Who are her parents? Is it Han Solo's kid? Is it Luke Skywalker's kid? Like, who is she? And then like it got to the point. It was like 4 years of all this mystery, and it kind of pissed me off. Man.
I got to the point where the third one came, and I was like, I don't even care who her parents are.
And then when you find out she's a Palpatine, it's just like, oh, come, like you couldn't have just told us that. I know you want to keep it a secret. I know all you hard Star Wars fans would be like, it makes it better, like the mystery and everything. But like, sometimes the mystery box that JJ likes to do gets on my nerves, and it got on my nerves with Star Wars.
Well, he made her a Palpatine because of what Rian Johnson did in Last Jedi.
Well, he made her a Palpatine when he didn't even know what he was going to do with her.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So they didn't even know who Rey was going to be after they made the first one.
Yeah.
He just left it open.
But the thing was, I guarantee you J.J. Abrams wanted Snoke to be the big bad the whole time.
Probably.
And then Rian Johnson killed him, and then he's like, oh, what do I do? Well, I'll just throw Palpatine in there, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
That probably is what happened.
Like, what else can you do?
Yeah.
I think he should have just gone when Kylo Ren took over the Empire, and he's the big leader now.
Because, yeah, in the third one, I mean, the original three, there's really just like one lead. It's Darth Vader and then the Emperor, Palpatine.
Yeah.
And then
it's constant the whole time.
And then, but really, Darth Vader's like steals the show the whole time. And then Palpatine's kind of like in episodes 1 through 3 as like the leader of the dark side. But there's 3 bad guys. It's like that's too many bad guys.
But hold on, it's not just 3 bad guys. In the new series, there are several bad guys that just like ended up being nothing. So the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, the Knights
Whatever
of Ren.
happened to them?
Bro, they were all over the trailers.
You were like so excited to see them, like, oh, this is so cool. And then
they were in like 2 scenes.
And one of them is like a flashback, and they show up in the end when Kylo Ren fights them. And
Yeah.
it's like, it took 3 movies to fight the Knights of Ren.
Why weren't
They were
they
in
just...
all the promotional material. We're like, oh, this must be a big part of the conflict,
Yeah.
these knights. And then they just like were nothing. General Hux.
Yeah, General Hux.
Domhnall Gleeson's character literally didn't do anything the entire series.
Waste of time. Like, he gives that really enraged speech.
Yeah.
But, like, aside from that, he just
Yeah.
becomes, like, a little bitch.
Yeah, he just gets his ass beat all the time. And then Captain Phasma is another villain who did nothing at
Yeah.
all. Absolutely nothing. So the new trilogy is filled with like these random villains that end up not doing anything at all.
All of the trilogies are full of random villains that do nothing, really.
I guess. I don't know.
Because I think the universe is so big, and they have to just have new characters come in and, like, just take up scenes. Because they have to fill in 2.5 hours of shit. And they can't have the same people constantly talking to each other. But the Knights of Ren, you're right. Like, I thought there would be, like, a cool part. And I thought they'd be badass. Like, them and Kylo Ren would be, like, fucking people up all
Rey
the time.
would have to, like, show up against them. And it's going to be, like, a crazy fight.
And, like, the only time you see them is when Rey and Kylo Ren fight them.
Yeah.
And then, like, at the end when Kylo Ren fights them.
But they're not the Knights of Ren when they fight them in The Last Jedi. Those are Snoke's guards.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It's not until the fucking end of Rise of Skywalker when Kylo Ren fights them. That's it.
Yeah. It would have been cool to put them in. It probably would have been a cool element. Because, like, Darth Vader is such a hardcore, badass character and so, like, nostalgic for fans and so overpowering and powerful that, like, they didn't really top him or even meet him with Kylo Ren when they should have tried to make him a worse person.
That's why they shouldn't have made him good in the end.
They just made him like a 22-year-old with like anger management issues. Like that's what
Emo
Kylo
kid.
Ren is. He's a cool character.
He's an emo kid who's mad at his parents.
He's cool, but he's just like he
like how many emo kids would have killed their dad if they had superpowers? Like that would have happened a lot more often.
He just needs to be like on Ritalin or something or Adderall.
What do you think about Snoke getting killed in Last Jedi?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Get him killed, get him out of there. But like, still, like you said, like they didn't like. It's like JJ wanted him to be the main villain.
Yeah, he wanted him to be the new emperor.
Yeah, and it's weird when you have 2 directors and writers take on a trilogy, and they're probably not coordinating with each other too much.
Yeah,
and I don't think JJ was planning on coming back for the 3rd one.
But he had to.
But I think they probably wanted Rian Johnson to finish it up. But then, like, all the horrible backlash, like you said, the petitions and stuff, they're like, we just need JJ to come back.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's not like Rian Johnson made a bad movie. It's just, it's like a bridge movie. And plus that trip they take, what's it called, Canton Bright?
Oh, my God, the worst plot
Is that the
line.
name of the planet?
So, yeah, something like that.
Hold on, let me double check.
Yeah, Finn and Rose.
Yeah, Canto Bight. I think that's what it's called. So when they take that trip to Canto Bight, it's like, what is the point of this? Like, yeah, you got Benicio del Toro for
but
fun.
it ended up not working out.
Yeah.
So what was the point of any of it?
I just didn't like it. And then it seemed like a waste of
pointless.
time. It was a waste of time
Pointless.
to fill up
It was literally
space.
just like, oh, I think Rian Johnson wrote the story and he had nothing for Finn to do. He's like, oh, let's just have him go over there and just like hang out with this girl for a bit.
He needs to get like some guy to help them with
Yeah.
something.
Ultimately, I was very disappointed with how they handled Finn's storyline during the overarching three film.
Yeah, towards the end of the second and the third
He
one.
ended up just being pretty much useless. They didn't.
Not useless, like they throw him on a blaster to shoot some stuff,
They
but like
they have him help with like the final conflict, like he like destroys antenna and or something. But ultimately, in terms of the story, he's like
in the scope.
not as important.
So they went right to Rey and Kylo Ren for the
because he was a big part of the Force Awakens, and you
Yeah.
thought like he was holding a lightsaber and all the posters.
he was Han Solo.
Yeah,
And then he just didn't become, and then he wasn't Han Solo anymore.
they turned Poe Dameron into Han Solo.
Yeah, I guess, because it's like the reverse. Poe's barely he's in the first one, but like not in terms of Rey and Finn's status in the film, in terms of like runtime and screen time.
But people loved him so much, so they threw more of him in.
Yeah, I feel like they should have focused less on Kylo Ren and Rey's storyline and their thing, and do like the three of them just working together.
Honestly, in Rise of Skywalker, in like the first act, when the three of them are together and they're like going through the cave and they're in that desert planet, like I was like, oh, this should have been the sequel to Force Awakens.
They spend more time apart than they do together.
When they're together, it's like, oh, I love this chemistry between these three people.
Yeah.
But then it didn't happen until Rise.
I don't know what they just probably thought they needed like a better storyline for like a love line or relationship or something with Kylo and Rey, and obviously JJ's trying to connect the dots with Palpatine, but it just seemed all so forced, and they just like kind of like a lot of movies today in trilogies, they're kind of like writing as they go, and they like don't figure out the whole story.
They should have had a plan right from the get-go.
Don't figure the whole thing out. Like
plan.
they came up with Force Awakens, and they're like, all right, well after this we'll figure it out. It's like when the USA sent up a satellite to space because Russia sent up a satellite. I can't remember what it's called, and they're like, we'll develop the technology to be able. They couldn't bring it back home, but they're like, we'll figure it out. It'll be up there long enough that we'll figure out how to bring it back. But America didn't figure out how to bring it back yet, and so it just came crashing to Earth on fire. And thank God landed in the Indian Ocean by chance. Well, obviously because majority of Earth's ocean, so the chances are it's going to land in the ocean. But like they didn't know how to bring it back yet, so they sent it up there, and they're like, oh, we'll figure it out. And this is kind of what the studio did with Force Awakens. Like, oh, we'll send Force Awakens out there. We'll figure the rest out later.
Don't worry about it.
It's just going to make a lot of money. Don't worry about it. But overall, it just didn't have, like... It's kind of like with Fantastic Beasts. It doesn't have the original magic. It doesn't have the original charisma and charm and love that, like, the original episodes 5, 6, 7 have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not that they're bad movies. I mean, 4, 5, 6 have. It doesn't have the original love and charisma of the 4, 5, 6. Again, not that they're bad movies, but it just didn't have the same connection for me as an audience member with the characters, because the characters kind of piss you off towards episode 9. So many goddamn episodes. It's episode 9 or episode 7.
What do you think should have been Finn's storyline? What would have been better?
I feel like Finn should have. I think him and Rey should have ended up together. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, him and Rey should have ended up together, and he should have even become a Jedi too, I think.
I don't know if because I don't think he should have been a Jedi because Han Solo was never a Jedi.
Yeah, but he's Force sensitive by the third one.
But you can also argue that Han's Force sensitive and he just doesn't know it.
Yeah, I guess.
And like I think they touch on that at some point with Leia and Han, a little bit. But
how sick would it have been if it was Rey and Finn, and they got lightsabers, and they're going up against Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren, and that would have been like the big conflict.
Yeah, I just don't like.
That would have been sick.
I just don't like that Finn wasn't really there at the end.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It was just Rey and Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
And then Kylo Ren's disingenuous redemption and everything, and like giving the life force to Rey.
Han Solo like forgave him for killing him.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
You killed me, Kylo. What the fuck?
Want to know what's one of the funniest news stories about Force Awakens is when Disney put out the merchandise and Rey wasn't in it.
Is that true?
Yeah, they made board games and action figures and all sorts of merchandise, and they were all centered around Kylo Ren and the other male characters.
Really?
Yeah. And then it became a big news story, and then Disney remade like their Monopoly set with Rey in it. They made a Monopoly set and Rey wasn't in it.
How can they do that? Because she's the main character in the whole series.
They didn't think that she would sell as well as Kylo Ren.
See, this is why Hollywood and marketing and Disney, they're all fake, man. They're all BS, and all they care about is making money.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. She's the lead character.
Yeah.
In all three. You can argue like Finn's a co-lead in the first one.
Yeah.
But like she's really the main character.
And that's where the artistic and creative part of Disney is separate from the corporate part.
Yeah.
Because like J.J. Abrams and the producers weren't involved in the merchandising.
Oh, yeah.
Or else they would have been like, she needs to be in it. But it was just Disney's corporate side. They came up with all the marketing and the merchandise, and they were like, okay, Kylo Ren's going to sell way better than Rey, so we're not even going to put Rey in anything.
Yeah, I mean, these companies make cool movies. They're fun, but like all they care about is money.
They want to sell them action figures.
All they care about is money. I mean, I doubt a lot of girls play with action figures, but still, it's ridiculous that they didn't make her as an action figure in the main marketing.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
How do you make a Monopoly set without her in it? There's like 40 like properties.
That's like making a Harry Potter Monopoly set without Hermione Granger.
Yeah.
It's like it's just Ron and Harry, just like, yeah, just dudes, bro. It's the dude Monopoly set, Harry Potter, bro. Don't worry about Hermione.
Is she bringing us dinner or what?
Dudes only, girls drool, guys rule, girls drool.
Do you think Rey is the most powerful Jedi of all time?
I think they ended up making her the most powerful Jedi of all time because, not originally, but at the end when she gets all the power of the Jedi.
Well, what about originally in Force Awakens when she's able to do all this crazy shit without any training at all?
It's possible because
like she's able to fight Kylo Ren no problem and beat him, and she's never held a lightsaber before.
Well, if you
and
think
Kylo Ren's been training since he was a little kid.
If you think about her bloodline, she comes from the most powerful dark Lord or Darth Sith to ever live. You know what I mean? Palpatine's like the most powerful Darth Sith. So her bloodline, you can see that she just has probably natural abilities that
but even
Jedi
so,
couldn't have.
like the Jedi's have to go through training to develop their skills.
True, and again, they didn't even know that she was gonna be Palpatine's
Exactly.
granddaughter.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it is what it is. They just wanted to develop her quickly, I guess, to get her more involved in terms of having the powers already.
Yeah, I guess.
But maybe they looked at episodes 4, 5, 6 and were like, it took Luke way too long to get his powers. Let's give her them like right away, like lightsaber fighting. She's never trained with a sword, but what was the name that she was like in terms of like scalping?
Scavenger.
A scavenger. So she's a scavenger. She climbs stuff. She has a rope that she swings on and like this pole that she hits people in the face with. So like she's basically a Jedi. So she's basically a Jedi because she scavenges parts. So that's fine.
That's all the training you need.
It's Rey, basically Jedi.
Forget Anakin needing to be trained for 3 movies.
And then the training just went so sideways. Maybe Obi-Wan's just like a shitty trainer. And that's why Anakin became Darth Vader. Obi-Wan's just like neglecting him.
Yeah, he went off on missions. Anakin lost his father figure. He turned to crime.
No, Obi-Wan just let him play with his smartphone too much.
All right, so my biggest problem with the new trilogy, when I see a Star Wars movie, the main thing I want to see are fucking awesome lightsaber fights.
Oh, absolutely.
And the new trilogy was absolutely lacking in lightsaber fights.
You're so right. Why can't we have like a medieval movie sword fight full of Jedis fighting?
Yeah.
And versus
Say
Sith
what you
Lords?
want about the prequels. There were lots of lightsaber fights, and they were sick.
Yeah.
The new trilogy, like The Force Awakens, you wait until the end, and it's a pretty good fight, I guess.
Yeah.
And then The Last Jedi, you wait till the end again, and it's like Kylo and Rey, it's like a 30-second fight with those guys. And then Luke and Kylo, like it's a fight, but they don't touch. So I guess it's technically not a fight.
Well, it's explained because the Jedi are extinct.
Yeah.
So basically the Jedi have been wiped out, so obviously they're not. But
But I mean just like the main Jedi character fighting with their lightsaber.
Well, they wait so long to get her a lightsaber.
Yeah. And then the Rise of Skywalker, again, you got to wait until the end until there's any kind of lightsaber fight.
Yeah. It would have been really cool. You know what would have been cool if they had like secret training of Jedi, like underground Jedi training.
Yeah.
Because it would have been so cool to see just like a war, like an actual war, not just ships flying around. Like, yeah, the ships flying around, we've seen that a million times, but give me a war of all these, not yet Jedis, but like resistance fighters with fucking lightsabers and stuff.
Why you need to be a Jedi to use a lightsaber?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just fighters with lightsabers charging an army full of other dudes with lightsabers. That would have been so cool.
And the thing is, like, George Lucas was the biggest inspiration for Star Wars and the lightsabers was samurai films.
Yeah.
And so, like, these are, like, samurai warriors. And, like, it would have been amazing to see, like, an army of lightsaber samurai warriors going up against the resistance.
Yeah, because you really only see that in
Clone Wars.
Yeah,
when there's a bunch of them in the gladiator arena.
Like stuff like that.
But that's what the biggest problem with the new trilogy is, like, the lack of lightsaber fights.
You're right, man.
It was just like, it's like, come on, can we see it? That's what I'm paying money for.
I know, like, that they always have to, like, solve problems and stuff like that.
Characters and all, but, like, what's the number one thing you want to see in a Star Wars movie?
I want to see some lightsaber battles.
Exactly.
Like, when Yoda finally fights with his lightsaber.
Oh, my God.
Like, you're like, oh, my God.
He's, like, bouncing around.
This is so crazy.
It's insane. That's what you pay money for.
Yeah.
It hardly happened in the new ones. And so, on top of that, what do you think is the best lightsaber fight in Star Wars in total?
Oh, actually,
I have
two that I want to talk about. So the first one, my favorite Star Wars lightsaber battle is definitely Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Darth Maul.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Music, in the background,
Duel of the Fates.
So like the score is perfect. They're in this massive building, this huge set.
Yeah.
And like it's a 2 versus 1 duel. Darth Maul has that double lightsaber that you hadn't seen yet, and he's like as good as both of them fighting him at the same time.
Yeah, he's better. He's like really kicking their asses.
And then like the barriers that they have to go past.
Oh my God, the barriers, especially when Obi-Wan's stuck in the barriers and then he watches Qui-Gon Jinn get killed, and he can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like that's a fight where you like, and Ewan McGregor sells like that fear and that like panic. You know what I mean? Like he's in trouble.
And then you just the face on Darth Maul is just like he's just like going back and forth like a tiger.
He's waiting for it to open
waiting
again.
for Obi-Wan.
And then Obi-Wan's just like pumping himself up like if it's a real fight.
And I love how Obi-Wan knows that it's about to open up, so he turns on his lightsaber
right
and then
before
it comes up.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so good. But guess how long is that fight? It's like 10 minutes.
I know, it's amazing. At least we should watch that on YouTube.
Oh fuck yeah. And then the new trilogy, the lightsaber fights are fucking 30 seconds and it's over. Like that is a real fight, and that's just like we're watching that in the theaters, and like it was the most amazing thing we had seen. Yeah. We were kids.
You know what? Probably the coolest lightsaber fight though is so this YouTube channel, this production team, they remake movie scenes, or not remake them, they like add on filming to them. So they took the Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber fight from, I think was episode A New Hope. Is it? Yeah, is it the 4th one?
Yeah. No,
episode.
The original
episode 4.
Star Wars.
So that fight when Obi-Wan is watching them escape in the ship, and Luke's trying to get him to come back. So they remade this scene. So they keep the original parts in, but then they have just actors, like they had obviously his Darth Vader suit, so you don't
body doubles.
But then they have like an actor with a hood on to play Obi-Wan to make it look like that you can't tell it's not an old man. Mm-hmm. But they redid that fight with like realistic actual like lightsaber battle fighting, and it's like a 6-minute fight, and it's so cool. It's on YouTube. I think it's on Vimeo too. You got to look it up if you haven't watched it yet. It's really badass.
You should throw that in.
Yeah, it's really badass. It's a really cool like homage to Star Wars, because obviously Darth Vader is super powerful, but like they don't do an amazing job to show how powerful he is in the original ones, because it's 1970s. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's only so much they can do. Graphics wise and practicality wise, and obviously they had an old man playing the voice, and like I don't know, but and Obi-Wan's pretty old in that movie too. But like to have them actually like what it could have really been like,
that's
like the real fight.
I gotta watch that.
It's a really cool fight, and they don't only just use lightsabers; they also use their force powers with like the electricity and stuff like that too. It's really badass. And
I personally love the final climactic fight in Revenge of the Sith between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah.
Like that in the lava planet, that's such a great fight.
Yeah,
it was just like
cool.
the Duel of Fates fight where it'll last for a while.
Yeah.
They go through different settings, and like they're using every bag of trick they have. You know what I mean?
And I think you and I have quoted that scene more than anything. Movie quotes like,
"You are the chosen one.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
I have the high ground.
Anakin,
Don't try it."
It's a great fight, but you're right.
Yeah.
There isn't a single like really. I mean, yeah, there are lightsaber fights.
In the
Just
new
not
ones,
as good.
they're not as good, and they're not long.
There's
They're
that
also
one in the
short.
woods, but it's short and it's cut off because the Earth's cracking and it's about to blow up. So it's not as cool. But
It doesn't. They're not long.
Yeah,
Like those fights are epic.
We really
You know what I
needed
mean?
like a 10, 15-minute awesome lightsaber battle. You're
Yeah,
right. It
and that's why
really cool.
like both of those movies, Revenge of the Sith and then Clone Wars, like the entire movie led up to the conflict of that fight. Because like Darth Maul showed up a couple of times, and he even attacked Qui-Gon Jinn early in the movie on the desert. Remember?
Yeah.
He like came off his like his fighter thingy, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they just fought real quick, and then Obi-Wan on the ship showed up, so Darth Maul took off.
Yeah.
So like they were building up like this is gonna be a big fight when they all face each other,
Yeah.
and they really paid it off with the actual fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Instead, they just made Kylo Ren and Rey just a bunch of moody teenagers,
Seriously?
like having visions of each other
Oh
all the
my
time.
god!
Where are you? Are you
Telepathically chit chatting,
And then
being FaceTiming.
And then they just had Kylo Ren and Rey are just FaceTiming constantly, and then the FaceTimes would end, and Kylo Ren would be like, "I know where she is."
Like he's using Rey. Like Rey's like literally giving him breadcrumbs to find her. Like, come on, girl. Come on. Don't be distracted by his nice hair.
His tall, dorky face. I'm telling you, white girls love tall, skinny white guys with weird faces. They do. It's a fact. Ask any girl.
Adam Driver's Jack too. So in that movie,
He got pretty big for that movie. But like, again, like the characters they don't have the same magic that the original characters had. Like Han is just so awesome and so funny and charismatic, and Leia's great. She's powerful. She's very strong woman. And then like Luke is just like the classic hero, like kind of like weird jockey kid, and he just saves the day.
Yeah.
And you just don't really feel that too much with the new ones because they just force it on you so much.
yeah, I think the most likable character was Oscar Isaac as Poe.
Probably.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot.
But they literally turned him into Han Solo.
yeah.
By the Rise of Skywalker, he was like a former criminal. You're like, wait, he's been a criminal?
Yeah.
What?
And you know, the most likable character in The Force Awakens is BB-8, and then they don't really use BB-8
Yeah,
anymore. He's kind of around. He's just rolling around the floor every once in a while, but like he's all over The Force Awakens. He's hysterical.
Oh, speaking of Force Awakens, the whole fucking point of Force Awakens is trying to find Luke.
Yeah.
And then the whole movie happens, and then at the end, fucking R2-D2 turns on, and he's like, oh, by the way, I have this map. Here's Luke's location. Like, what the fuck? What was the point of the whole movie?
Set it all up, I guess. So visually, the movies are really superbly made. I'll give them that. They did a great job making the movies. All the characters aside, the actors are great, and I'm sure they're all going to be super famous forever. And hopefully they don't get held down by the stigma of being like a Star Wars character.
I don't think that's possible anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess with Mark Hamill, he kind of never really acted again, but that's because he was in that accident. And
Yeah, his face got fucked up.
but he did become a really great voice actor.
Yeah.
Like Mark Hamill is the Joker. I don't know if a lot of people know that. I'm sure half the people listening to this know that, but like Mark Hamill is the Joker in a bunch of the cartoon
animated,
adaptations.
yeah.
And he's amazing as it. He's an amazing voice actor. And so that's something cool about Mark Hamill. But like he never really became a movie star after that.
Yeah, but also like Daisy Ridley is insanely talented.
Yeah.
Like she's crazy talented.
But still, you can't get stuck with the stigma of like your one role.
The thing, I don't think that's possible anymore because so many movies are made now. Whereas if you get that one big movie, by the time that your big movie comes out, you've already been cast in like 4 other movies, so you're set.
I think
Whereas
it's all
back
about-
in the day, like you could be a one-hit wonder in like the 80s and 90s, where you could have one great big movie, but then like a couple of duds come out and you're done. But nowadays, like Daisy Ridley's probably been in already 8 movies, other than Star Wars movies.
And also, it depends on the quality of an actor you are. Like, if we're to compare it to like Harry Potter, like Danny Radcliffe, he's a great actor too, and he made like a lot of really good decisions doing.
He's
like,
an excellent actor, yeah.
Smaller independent films and these obscure things because obviously Daniel Radcliffe is great, the perfect Harry Potter, but like he's not a great leading man.
Yeah. He has to be in the weird movies.
Yeah, so he has to be in these quirky roles in these small indie movies, which is fine. Is what he's doing. I think he understands that. Like I don't know if it's like his height or just like his stigma of being Harry Potter. Like you can never see him as like the leading man in like a huge production or like a huge movie.
Well, I mean, you can't see him like it's like he can't lead like a Mission Impossible action movie.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or I mean Rupert Grint, that guy. What can you see him in?
Just comedies.
Well, he's now in the new Snatch TV series.
Oh, cool.
So I think it's BBC made a TV series for Snatch. So,
but I mean, you can't feel too bad for him. He's made like $50 million off of Harry Potter.
he has, but he spent a lot of his money.
Really?
Like I've read he's in financial trouble because he just spent all of his money, didn't invest it, whereas Danny Radcliffe and Emma Watson invested their money in like
Emma Watson can keep spending money. She just did Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
She's getting 20
so
million movies.
she still gets big movies.
Yeah.
Her turn down La La Land might be the worst decision of her career, though.
I don't know if you can say that because she lost out on the Oscar, but like she got Beauty and the Beast and it made $1 billion.
True, but I mean, I think
she became Belle.
I think a lot of those actors would prefer to get at least a nomination for an Oscar.
Maybe.
Because she's already wealthy as hell.
Yeah.
Whereas Emma Stone probably isn't even as wealthy as Emma Watson. But what was I just saying? Yeah, Rupert Grint spent like all of his money. Dude, he was just like he bought that ice cream truck and was just handing free ice cream out for like
it's
years.
not like ice cream's expensive.
I mean, if you do it for a couple of years, you're probably spending $1 million, bro.
On ice cream.
Yeah. If you do it every day for 2 years,
So you say Rupert Grint every day was handing out free ice cream to everyone?
probably. Probably. Well, I mean, that's a really nice, fun thing to do, but like that's just one
He
example.
probably did it like 5 times.
No, but that's one example of how much money he was wasting on useless things like that.
He's like a recently retired athlete.
Yeah, and I've heard stories that or read stories where he has like a bunch of weird exotic animals, so he spends a bunch of money on stuff like that. That like
Dumb.
he's gonna be broke when he's 60, I bet.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's doing some other roles and stuff.
He'll always get the HP royalties though.
But yeah, I'm sure he's set up for. He'll be fine for life, but I don't think he's caking like the other two anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I think Danny Radcliffe's the best actor out of the three of them. But again, I mean,
He turned into a very good actor.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Han Solo turned Harrison Ford into the biggest movie star for 3 decades.
Well, it wasn't just Han Solo. He did Han Solo, then he did Indiana Jones,
Yeah,
and he was just like on top of the world.
But he did Han first.
Yeah.
So you can arguably say that Han was his introduction into the mainstream
But
world.
I think him getting both of those catapulted him to the stratosphere
Absolutely.
of stardom.
He's just...
He was the biggest star for 20 years.
Yeah. I don't think any actor will ever be that big. I mean, maybe Tom Cruise, yeah. But aside from that, being the face of 2 of the biggest film franchises ever.
At the same time.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane, Harrison Ford. I love that guy. He's the
Former carpenter.
He's the freaking man. Plus he's like the president.
Get off my plane.
He's always like on the run from
He's
like
one
the
of
law.
my favorite guys, man. He's so fucking
he's
awesome.
super cool. He's always funny on like Kimmel and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
like
he's hilarious.
when he
He's
pierced
secretly
Jimmy
hilarious.
Fallon's ear, that was super funny.
Yeah.
That was wicked funny. But yeah. But I mean,
So I saw this. I can't remember what talk show he was on, and then I think it was Kimmel, and he asked him like, "How was it? What happened after you got cast? After you got cast in Force Awakens as Han Solo again? And like, what'd you do?" And he's like, "I got paid."
oh yeah, because everyone tried to ask like, so what's it like to revisit the franchise? He's like, I'm getting paid. I mean, it's just acting. It's just work.
And then he asked him about the Indiana Jones 5. Like he asked him, what do you think about it? How's it looking? And Harrison Ford says, "Oh, I like it a lot." And then Kimmel goes, "What do you like about it?" He's like, "I like the contract."
And I love how he broke his arm on the set of The Last Jedi, I think, or either Last Jedi or Force Awakens. He broke his arm on the set of one of them, and he was being asked about it by one of the show hosts. And they're like, "So what happened? How'd you break your arm?" He's like, "They closed the door on my arm."
It was his leg.
Was it his leg?
His femur snapped in half.
Oh, they broke his femur?
Yeah, he was out for like 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
it was the door to the Millennium Falcon. It collapsed on top of him.
That's crazy.
It broke his leg in half.
Can you imagine being the guy who broke Harrison Ford's leg on the set of the Star Wars movie? Can you imagine how angry he was with them?
Oh my God. He must have
Holy
been livid.
Shit. Because, I mean, yeah, giving someone an injury like that. Oh my
But Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Oh
Holy
my
shit.
God.
Probably never working again for the rest of his life.
That guy got fired for sure.
Harrison
or
Ford's
that girl got
crazy.
fired. What do you think is the best Star Wars movie of all time?
The best all time? It's got to be Episode 6.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I'd say it's episode 6. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
A New Hope.
It would be your favorite.
What? It started it all. It started everything.
Yeah, I think episode 6 is definitely the best one. Because, Luke's badass now, Han and Leia, their story's developing, and, like, Darth Vader, like, everything's coming to an end almost. It's coming to an end despite it launching 2 other trilogies, and, like, an endless supply of Star Wars movies. But, I think that episode 6 is my favorite, for sure.
You know what? After the new trilogy, I'm honestly thinking that Phantom Menace isn't that bad.
I like the Phantom Menace, man.
Good.
I like
it's
it.
Good.
I like
it's
it a lot.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, it's super fun. The villains are great in that movie. I mean, outside of Jar Jar Binks, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with that, but like Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan,
and
sick. Darth Maul.
Anakin's cool in it.
Yeah, I like those characters a lot.
Yeah.
The
pod racing.
Yeah, pod racing's cool. We had the pod racing game on
yeah,
N64.
that was the best game.
Yeah, N64.
Oh my, we used to play that constantly.
Yeah, it was super fun.
That was a sick game.
Yeah, I actually liked Anakin in that movie a lot. Yeah, he's a cool kid.
I think the problem a lot of people had with it was they didn't understand that George Lucas made it to include, like, he made the movies for every kind of audience age, for kids and adults.
Yeah.
So I think that it might have been a little too kid-friendly for Star Wars fans.
Yeah, I get that.
Who, like, were camping outside of the theaters before it came out, and they went in, and it's like, oh, this is like a kid's movie.
That's probably why Jar Jar Binks was in it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Me so goofy. Me so Jar Jar Binks. Like, kids love that shit.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was awesome when I was a kid.
Yeah.
We were like
you're right, because we were like 10 when it came out.
Yeah, we were like 9 or 10.
Oh, Jar Jar is so funny.
Yeah.
But now I watch it, I'm like, Jar Jar Binks is the worst, most racist character I've ever seen.
And then the 40-year-olds who camped out for New Hope saw the Phantom Menace, and they're like, they ruined my life.
Yeah, see, that's ruining your childhood.
You can't ruin your childhood with a movie. I'm sorry. All these people need to get off their fucking high horses and have a little perspective about how fucked up the world is outside of America.
Outside of
Star Wars. If a movie ruined your childhood, you need to look inward at yourself and see how lucky you are.
A movie about intergalactic space battles.
About people with laser swords. How can you say it's your childhood?
And Natalie Portman, too, is Padme.
Yeah.
So, like, that's not a bad movie, I don't think.
It's not a bad movie at all.
I like it.
Yeah.
And that really reignited my love for Star Wars because growing up, our brothers weren't, like, big Star Wars fans at all. Not really. So, like, I never really saw Star Wars until after
Blockbuster Video.
I don't think I saw Star Wars, the original ones, really in terms of remembering them. Like, I saw them as kids, but, like, you hardly remember it. But, like, when we saw episodes 1 through 3, then I was a little older, and then I went back to the original ones. I'm like, oh, these movies are freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So, like, that made me as a kid revisit it. Maybe that's what this new trilogy did with kids that age, making them revisit the old ones.
Yeah, maybe. I remember Mom took us to see a re-release of Return of the Jedi in theaters.
Yeah.
I remember we were like 8 or something.
I just think that there is such thing as too much of a good thing. And when we have just 9 movies of one storyline of a movie series,
every year,
and then just this storyline of this arc, there's 9 movies, and then now every year we're gonna get a different Star Wars movie. We're gonna get Star Wars TV shows, Star Wars this. Han Solo gets a movie. I mean, I'm sure they'll make like a Leia movie. I mean, they're making so many Star Wars movies. It's just becoming so oversaturated that like I have no like enticement to see another Star Wars movie unless they do like an Obi-Wan movie, but I think they're going to do a TV show instead.
I would rather them do an Obi-Wan movie than a TV show.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of TV shows. I want to watch a movie in a theater.
Yeah.
You know, it's so much better.
And I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Rogue One. Han was cool. The Han Solo movie was pretty cool.
Yeah, but no one saw it.
I liked it a lot, but still, we didn't need it.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I liked it. It was funny. It was fun. It was a fun movie, but again, we don't need it. And it's just there's going to be too much of it, and I think it really.
I gotta say, with the Han Solo movie, it was really dumb how they came up with how he got his name.
With Han?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just some clerk at the transfer station was like, no name? Solo. Han Solo. What?
It's cute.
Come on.
It's cute. But, yeah, it's going to dilute the original series. And it already has, I think. And it is what it is. We just got to deal with it. But.
Just don't get Disney Plus.
Yeah, I won't get Disney Plus. I'm good. I'm all good. I'm all set. But yeah, I probably won't see any other Star Wars movies in theaters. Probably.
They probably won't release them in theaters.
They'll probably be like just a Disney-only theater.
For real. But I mean, if they do an Obi-Wan show, I mean, it would be better if they did Obi-Wan movies, honestly. That would be so much cooler.
There's too many shows, man.
Yeah.
Way too many shows. I'm sick of shows. That's why, like, even just I'm watching The Sopranos right now. It's the only show I watch. And like even watching that's just like takes up so much of my time, and it's just like a burden sometimes. I'm addicted to it, but it's also like. But then when you have all of these fucking just Star Wars shows for people to watch, you know. And I didn't see The Mandalorian, and I have no interest in seeing The Mandalorian.
I watched the first episode. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure people are gonna fucking attack you in the comments over that.
Well, I mean, the first episode, he goes to this planet, and he needs to find someone on this planet. And rather than taking his ship and flying it to the location where he knows they are, he like finds this like farmer of this creature that you can ride on the planet, like this giant like bull like creature. And the Mandalorian can't ride it without falling off, so the guy like trains him to ride this creature, and there's like a training montage of him learning how to ride this thing.
And falling off.
He's like, and the guy's like, keep going, you can do it. And then he finally learns how to ride it, and then he takes the creature across like several hundred miles and gets to the location. But he had the ship the whole time.
Why didn't he use the ship?
I don't know.
Was he like out of gas?
After that, I just turned it off. I'm like, what the fuck? This is dumb.
Was there like a no flying zone?
No, it was a desert.
Was he being tracked?
No, it was a desert.
But I'm sure it was really funny.
No, it wasn't funny.
No, but again, it's for like a 12-year-old watching it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it gets better, but I don't know.
I've heard mixed things about it. I have some friends that are diehard, hardcore Star Wars fans.
Well, all they gotta do is see Star Wars and they'll start jerking off.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the ones who like you said, The Last Jedi ruined their childhood.
Yeah.
Like that kind of Star Wars fan. But they love The Mandalorian. So I don't know.
Another thing with Mandalorian that I don't like is Pedro Pascal plays the Mandalorian. He's the villain in Equalizer using Game of Thrones. He's awesome. But I was reading a few articles and apparently he's like hardly even in it physically. It's just a stunt double.
Because he's always wearing a mask?
Yeah. And so Pedro Pascal mostly just does voiceover work on it.
That's kind of
So it's like not even like he's acting in it. It's a different person the whole time.
I wonder if that's his decision or the studio's decision.
It's way cheaper to pay an actor for a fucking voiceover than it is
like, here's $1 million for a whole series rather than having to pay like $6 million.
The daily fees.
I mean, I guess for him, that's an easy job.
I guess, but like...
If I was him, I'd be like, yo, I'm fine with $1 million. I want to wear the suit and be the guy the whole time.
But they saved a lot of money not having the actual actor there.
Bro, I would take that low contract just to, be the character. Why not?
That's the whole point. It's like, it's not really Pedro Pascal then. It's just him voiceover. It's just a stunt double the whole time. And it's like, it kind of takes you out of like, whenever you watch The Mandalorian, you're like, that's probably not even Pedro Pascal acting.
You know what? That sucks because stunt doubles and like body doubles in Hollywood, they get treated like garbage, man.
Yeah.
And like,
this stunt double's doing all the work and no one even knows his name.
I wish that stunt doubles got credit for what they do. Yeah, they get like credits at the end of the movie, and like obviously the people who make the movie
they get paid
know
pretty
who
well.
they are. But like, how stunt doubles and stunt men and stunt women don't have an award anywhere blows my mind.
The things they do, put their lives at risk just to like entertain
break
us
bones and stuff. Like, just to like help with the shot, and they don't get any credit. So it's a bummer, but it is what it is. It's just Hollywood. It's all about money, and what are you gonna do? Like give an award to stunt doubles who no one knows who they're.
My favorite story about stunt doubles is Jeff Bridges' stunt double has been with him for over 50 years. And they're like best friends on and off set.
I'm sure they are, and they probably look alike too.
Yeah, and when Jeff Bridges won the Oscar and the Golden Globe for Crazy Heart, he thanked his stunt double in every speech, and he was like, 50 years, man!
See, that's awesome. Like, I bet you, I haven't heard another actor thank their stunt double for like receiving an award or anything.
And they do so much work for them. They make them look so good.
Yeah.
And the stunt doubles are used for a lot more than you think.
Yeah.
Because a lot of actors, I'm sure plenty of them are like down to do stuff physically, but there are plenty of actors that don't want to do anything physically.
And even just like as like a stand-in for lighting and stuff like that. Obviously there are other stand-ins, but like for stand-in for wardrobe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, stunt doubles they do a lot. They're just as part of the process as the actors are.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I wish they got recognition somehow.
There should be an Oscar category for best stunt work.
See, that's why I love Tarantino, because he gave so what's her name, the girl
Chloe something.
Yeah, so the stunt double for Uma Thurman and all the Kill Bills, he uses her a lot.
Yeah.
And she actually has a movie role, a character role in Death Proof.
Yeah.
And she's in some
and
other
in Django.
movies, in Django and
in Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She plays Jeff what's his name's wife.
And so she's also in The Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
She's in the haberdashery in the beginning of the movie and gets killed. Well, not in the beginning of the movie, in the beginning of the storyline.
Yeah. When the flashback happens.
So Tarantino, I think he really respects stunt people so much that he gave her roles and stuff, which is awesome.
She's super cool.
And it's cool when she's on the hood of the car in Death Proof. You're like, it's really her.
Oh
and
my
you can
God.
see her through the windshield.
No
her
ropes
face.
or anything.
Badass.
That movie's underrated. And people just don't know about that movie because it got released as a double feature.
Yeah.
So people, and I think Death Proof was the second one that was viewed. That was like shown. So I think people saw Robert Rodriguez's movie and then they walked out of the theater thinking it was over.
I think a lot of people don't like Death Proof, or I think a lot of people don't like Tarantino's movies in general, is because he often like hurts women, has violence towards women in his movies, which like Tarantino has killed and caused violence to way more male characters than female characters in his movies.
Absolutely.
And really, like, it's not sexist to have violence against women in movies because he kills both people. He kills both men and women in his movies. It's equal. He treats them all equal.
I think though a bad comment that was made about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is saying that it was objectifying towards women, where because of Margaret Qualley, there's the shot where she's leaning into the car and it's showing her ass, but then 20 minutes later, Brad Pitt takes his shirt off in the glistening sunlight, and we can see his abs, and he's just like shredded. It's like he just sexually objectified Brad Pitt too.
Yeah,
like, so, come on.
Yeah, that's the thing with Tarantino. He treats all of his characters equal, men, women. Violence against women is terrible. What, violence against men isn't terrible.
And it's just a movie.
It's just a movie. It's a movie.
And oftentimes in his movies, the women are carrying out just as much violence as the men are.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
dude. Ooh, Beatrix Kiddo kills like 300 people in 2 movies. It's insane. Chopping dudes' heads off. She's literally chopping guys' heads off with a sword. What about that? What about the violence against that guy? Is that okay? Because he's a guy, you can chop his head off. But if like a woman gets a paper cut in a movie, violence against women! Violence against women! Paper cut!
We gotta do it.
There's a drop of blood.
We gotta do a whole Tarantino episode.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
All right, we're not even talking about Star Wars anymore, so we're gonna. That's a good clip now. We're gonna cut this one here.